Hi, ma'am.
Buhara ko ay.
Ma'am, hi.
Nanday si ma'am ay nanday.
Hello. Hello. Sakay. Wala sa uban. Okay. Hello. Good afternoon.
Hi, ma'am.
Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. Okay. So, while we are waiting for the rest, let me start our discussion, especially on evaluating your materials evaluation, because it's very important, since I know most of you are confused as to how are we going to evaluate our materials. Okay, so while you're listening, while I'm speaking rather, please mute your microphone, and then you can only raise question after the discussion. Is that all right? Give me a
Yes,
thumbs up if it's
ma'am.
all right. Give me a thumbs up if it's all right. Okay, please mute now. Thank you so much. Okay, now I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so that you can see where I'm looking at. All right, let's start with. I hope that you have read this one here, materials evaluation. What is materials evaluation, and why do we have to evaluate materials? And let's proceed with how do you
Sir?
evaluate
Yes, sir.
materials. Wait,
Ah,
okay, so it's very
here.
important, guys, that you learn how to evaluate materials, since this is where you would recognize the importance of identifying which materials are appropriate to your class or not. Okay, so that is very important. And uh, we can divide, let's see here, we can divide can you see this one? We can divide the evaluation process into 4 steps. Can you see this one? Defining criteria, subjective analysis, objective analysis, and matching. So the first 2 stages will be done in the course design stage. So ang process manggod in ESP is that you make first your course design, your syllabus, your materials, and then your assessment, and then how are you going to present them or use them in the class. And then over time, we're going to change. So what's most important here is that you should be able to know how to compare, okay, how to compare your ideal materials to what is actually feasible, appropriate, and more comprehensive to your students. So, namagutai, for example, like me, for example, I'm looking for a book in ESP that is kanang published recently lang siya. Pero the problem is, dili na mo siya mapalit, or mabaligya siya, pero it costs dollars gid siya, so it's very hard to purchase one. So we have to utilize this book instead. So even if kanang kuan siya, even if old siya and then scanned copy lang siya, but still at least we have something to use. So we have here the four stages in evaluating materials. So first, we have to define the criteria. On what basis will you judge the materials? Okay, on what basis will you judge the materials? Is it based on the price? Is it based on the feasibility, the comprehensibility? Which criteria will be more important? So in my case, for example, I preferred the criteria in which both you and I can access the material. For example, this is our material. This can copy is our material. Okay, I'm referring to this book by Hutchinson and Waters. So the second step, or the second and third step, is actually come hand in hand together. So we have here A. This is A. For those who are asking what is A in the question, this is A, subject analysis. This is where you are going to answer the questions in a subjective manner based on your opinion. Okay, based on your opinion, based on what you know. So what realizations of the criteria do you want in your course? And then we have the objective analysis, which is now the B. Okay, if you notice a question A or B, so the objective analysis is the B. How does the material being evaluated realize the criteria? And then last stage is matching. How far does the material match your needs? Okay, so material evaluation does not only focus on the book that you use. You could also use material evaluation in PowerPoint presentation, in articles that you use in the class, or even visual aids and videos and so on. So you have to consider that as well. So how are you going to do this one? So you will need to decide which is more important to various people concerned, like teachers, students, and sponsors. Okay. Then you should also consider which unsatisfactory features are easier to remedy. So in my case, in our case, for example, for this book here, this one here, I chose this one because this is much more accessible and much more comprehensive than the rest. And then is it, for example, easier to adapt content or methodology? Yes. You might find it difficult to find alternative text, while it may be relatively easy to change the exercises based on the text. So that's what I did. Now, we can present a checklist of criteria for objective and subjective analysis. This is not an exhausted list, meaning to say you can add more, you can remove something, so you may find other criteria which you may feel are important. So pwede ka mag-add ani niya. But basically, this is our framework that we are going to use. So remember, everybody, that subjective analysis is the letter A. And objective analysis is letter B, as you can see here. Ano siya? Okay? Papi? Am I making sense here, everyone? Yes? Okay. All right. So remember, this is A and this is B. Can you see what I'm writing, Jiki? Can you see A and B here? Can you see that? Okay. All right. Perfect. So let's proceed now to the next. Let's go over first this. Let's go over first this framework. So we have here, let's go down first a little bit. Okay. How are you going to conduct the evaluation analysis? When you have the criteria now, when you have the framework, how are you going to do that? These are the following steps that you are going to use or utilize. Okay. This one's here. Oh my goodness. Okay, this one. Wait for it. Kadjat lang kayo ha. Kina-struggling yung teacher. Struggling siya strong. Okay, this one here. Okay, please follow me as I'm going to read this one. So the following steps should be followed in using the checklist. Okay, first, answer the A questions, the subjective analysis. First, you identify your requirements. So for example, you are about to design your course or your syllabus, and you are now at the stage where you are going to choose now your materials. So you have to identify your requirements for your materials. So you can use this information either as basis for writing your own materials or as an input to the later stages of material evaluation. Okay. Second, analyze the materials you have selected in B questions, in the objective analysis. So yung manani mo siya, guys. Kanang sa A, mag-set ka imong criteria unsay imong gusto. Sa A, subjective analysis, or siya i-answer nimo siya ang imuhang mga requirements sa imong materials in teaching. And then after answering A, you are now going to find that material, okay? First, you find the material, then you are going to answer B questions based on the material that you have chosen. Am I clear? Show me a thumbs up if I'm clear. Okay, very
Yes,
good.
ma'am.
Okay, well done. Okay, next. This is now the fourth stage in the materials evaluation. Compare A and B findings. Okay, how are you going to do that? This can be done impressionistically, yeah, by awarding points. So you can use a point system. Okay, 0 for does not match, 1 partly matches, 2 for closely matches desired. For example, let's go back a little bit. Okay, let's go back a little bit. Okay, for example, we are going to choose under the topic, topic, this one here, price. Okay, let's use this topic, price. This one here. Wait lang kayo, kanang struggle is really difficult, guys. Okay, for example, for subjective analysis, what price range is necessary? In my case, for example, I want to buy a book that is around 200 to 500 pesos only. Okay, that's the subjective analysis. Then after answering all the subjective analysis questions, I'm going to choose now, look for the material. Okay, I'm going to look for the material and then answer objective analysis, which is B. What is the price? So, butang na to, 245 siya. Okay. Uy, may pagpakaligo dira ba sa? Okay. All right. So, what is the price? Okay, now so that's the first, second, and third stage. The fourth is to match. Okay, to match my answers in question A and question B. Now, here's what will have to happen. After you match, listen everyone, after you match now the questions, okay, it's very important that you know that total the points and analyze the result. Note that the highest number, okay, highest number of points does not necessarily indicate the most suitable materials, since the points may be concentrated in one area. So look for the widest spread of desired features and concentration. So after nimo ma-compare ang subjective analysis, which is A, of objective analysis, which is B, you now compare you now evaluate the result. Make your choice and use your findings to prepare any documentation needed for defending your decision. Okay, for example, in this case, you are now going to answer, am I going to purchase this book? In my instance, for example, okay, nakita na kong book nga tag 500 man siya. Pero, kuan siya, PDF copy lang, soft copy siya, for example. So, i-ship pa siya, pila ka days, something like that. So, what is the, sa tawag ani? What's the chances that I'm going to get the book in time for my class? So, inguna na siya, or after sa imuhang analysis A, analysis B, you are now going to identify what action should you do after the materials evaluation. So, ang ending point manggod, ang objective manggod sa evaluation, materials evaluation nako is either I purchase the book or not. So, inguna na siya. Okay? So, ingon nato lang. And then, what you're going to do is you make a written report. This is now where you are going now to write, okay? Make or prepare a documentation that refers to your written report to defend why your decision from your materials evaluation. Okay? Questions? Please do ask questions. You may ask questions now. Is everything
Ma'am.
under? Yes. Yes, my
Kuan man ba?
Sige.
Kanang unsaon pag-answer ang ang each question, ma'am, like na siya specific nga itubag, na siya specific nga answer, or essay form lang gihapon siya, paragraph form lang gihapon.
So, for example, katong question, what is the range necessary sa A? For example, sa subjective analysis, ang question niya is, what is the price range? So, answer nimo siya. Ay, unsay ang pangutanan niya, pila man imong budget? So, tubagon nimo 200 to 500, ano lang. So, not necessarily long sentence. As long as you answer the question. Pag-abot sa B,
Pagkatong part nga kuan ma'am ba katong sa to siya
Naman.
sa methodology bitaw ma'am katong
number. Okay, let me share so you can see. Aman ani.
Content sa content nga ta to ma'am.
Okay. For example, let's look. Can you see this one?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So let's try to look for a number 13. Let's answer number 13. Okay. For example, this is 13A is subjective analysis and 13B is objective analysis. 13A, what theory or theories of learning should the course be based on? Should it be behaviorist, cognitive, affective? So, imuha na siyang i-base kay, di ba? Let's go back a little bit. The stages in making or teaching a course, for example, is first you make a syllabus or course design. Next, you choose your materials. Then you prepare your assessment, and then you are now going to execute or kanang gamiton na nimo siya muna siyang i-apply tanan. So here we are now on the stage where we decide on the materials that you are going to use. So it's considering for a fact na put in your mind when you answer this one that naa na kay kanang course design or syllabus. Yes, for example. Okay. So put in your mind that you are going to teach this subject na naka specific subject in mind, students, types of students, and so on. And reminders, it's an ESP course. Okay, so for example, you're going to teach English to hotel and HRM students who are taking blah blah blah, something like that. Okay, so you're going to answer this one. What is the theories of learning that the course should be based on? So ikaw, sa man mo cognitive, affective ba siya, or a combination of both? You just simply answer that one. And 13B, what theories of learning are the materials based on? Kanang imuha ng napili ng materials. So you have to check carefully. Pero ikaw ba, mag-imagine, nagog ka kay for naman siya, for exercises purposes naman siya. Okay, pero it's much better that you have really found a material, for example, a book, a book lang, for example, para nga subject. Okay?
Ma'am, kanang sa materials evaluation, ma'am, isa na siya ka material or per material na siya, ma'am?
For this instance, I would recommend isa lang ka material. Like for example, book lang siya. Okay, maugmaan mo. Maugmaan mo na. For example, for this case lang, just evaluate one material. And for it's much better if you are basing the main reference of your course of the subject that you are going to teach. Okay?
Oh, okay, ma'am.
Dayon sa little report lang ba? Okay, kanang essay form?
Yes, or siya narrative.
Patay.
Okay.
wala siyang narrative nga imuhang i-discuss ang results sa imuhang matching sa imuhang written report ingana ni siya ha. First part is of course you answer the questions in A and B. Importante man na siya. The third part is you do the matching na. Ay, erase. Nalibog na noon ko. There are 4 stages. So 4 po siya, 4 plus 1. Okay, ang first is you define the criteria. What is the criteria? What is your subject? Kinsay mong kuan, students, unsay goal, ana, something like that. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Second, you answer subjective analysis. You answer the questions. Importante, take note, you can remove or add questions depende sa imuhang gusto. Okay? As much as
like this
possible. Oo, so
Nag-iisip ko ako nga part kay part nga kanang dili siya
applicable.
para sa kuha dili siya masalo sa kuan ba dili siya wala siya
applicable
Oh.
lagi. Okay, ana siya. Pwede nimo siya kwaon or pwede po ka magdugang. Ana siya. Okay.
okay ma'am.
And then you answer objective analysis, which is B. You answer na the question. Fourth, you match your result. This is now when you compare the answers to A and B. And then fifth, this is now you are going to defend or discuss your decision. Are you going to buy the book? Are you going to choose another one? Are you going to make one from it? Defend why. Ana lang. Okay?
Yes ma'am.
Okay, claro? ¿Entiendes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Entiendes.
All right. Sí, muy bien. Gracias. Okay. Any questions so far?
Vámonos!
Huh?
Wala na ma'am.
Okay. All right. So we have 7 minutes left. So it's very important also for you to know that by the end of this course, if you have looked ahead sa atong Moodle classroom, you are required to make a syllabus of an ESP course. That's the final requirement. And there are lectures where you can do it. There are days that you can do it alone, and then afterwards peer evaluation, and then evaluations of peer, and then improvement of your syllabus, and then presentation of the syllabus. Ana siya. Okay?
Question last.
Yes.
After sa maghimamig syllabus ma'am ba din i-present man siya no? Mo na siya ang among last nga activity dayon ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, ilang butang deadline ma'am din suda po kayo.
The deadline is last day of summer class, July 29.
Yes. Kanam.
July 29. So the activities that we are actually doing right now is preparing you unsa kay nice nga syllabus sa mga buhat ani ana siya. Okay?
Yes
Okay.
ma'am.
Murag kibali ko ano no ang sa syllabus na magyari kay murag sum up patanon.
I will give you a format. After, for example, on Monday you will have your long quiz man because today you are going to do the rest of the lecture 25, 26. So Monday is lecture 27, your long quiz. After the long quiz, I will give you examples of a syllabus that you are going to make. The format, kibali. Okay? Claro, entiendes?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Ma'am.
Okay.
Ay, ma'am,
Question-
kasi mama ng klase, ma'am.
July 29.
Kami nag 24, ma'am.
29.
Ang
May
gidali.
late month na nagsugod. Na extend man siya bila ka adlaw kay na sa enrollment. Okay. Wala na ipangutana?
La.
Okay. So, while you're doing the materials evaluation today, you can do lecture 25 and 26 on the weekends. Okay, it's still open time pero na-limit sa quiz ha para dili ta mag ano ba, dili ta mag maanad nga open time siya nga quiz. So, it's self-study, it's about materials design, materials writing. So, after conducting your materials evaluation, this is now the time that you will know how to make your own materials. This refers to not just books but PowerPoint presentation, visual aids, and so on. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, questions so far? Question. Wala na? Okay, again ha? Again, I will reiterate what I said. Today you are going to do your materials evaluation. Please submit it in PDF form in the quiz section in our Moodle classroom. Okay? Second, lecture 25 and 26, you have to do it before, or you have to submit and do and answer them before Monday, July 20, because on July 20, we will have a long quiz for starting for lecture 19. Yes, lecture 19 to lecture 26. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, questions so far? Questions? This is now your time to shine. Time to shine!
GY questions daw.
O, tana, sige. Kasi maglibog na po dun saon.
Papa niya gibo.
Kani si GY, ma'am, sa ako amang utana, ma'am.
Mura po dabag mo tubag, ma'am. Dili ra bagyapon.
O gani,
Kuha na
dili
lang
jud
po
ko motubag.
tayo, ma'am.
Sige, unsa man? Wala na?
Ay, ma'am. Wala ko nakapas sa kuan mo ba sa katong start good.
Sige lang.
Sa material evaluation, ma'am.
Haha?
Iko. Uy, unmute ba? Ay,
Unsa?
unmute ba? Mute na, ma'am. Kano sa dito ipas ang material evaluation?
Within today. Or
Today.
or basin ma-extend siya. I-open lang ako. Open siya. Open submission. But before siya sa Monday. Before Monday. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Alright. No more questions. Our time is almost up. Bakang, wala na kagaloy. Bakang.
Ma'am, i-post nini mo imong kuan, ma'am. Atong
Yes.
video.
Yes, I will
Ate Jo.
post this one.
Thank you, ma'am, kay wa mi kapas.
Sige.
Lami,
Wala
pagkalda.
problema.
Punta ninyo akong kuan, Ligo session.
Uy,
Alright.
Kalda, lami.
kuyaw
pod.
gani mo bunot.
Wala na ipangutana kay kalibang na kay ko guys.
Bye, ma'am.
Sorry sa nagkaon. Bye-bye.